Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another election video. Some pretty interesting stuff here today. We've got Donald Trump speculating about the possibility of Joe Biden, Dark Brandon himself, crashing the DNC, trying to take back the nomination from Kamala. I think Trump's got to be trolling about this. There's no way Biden is even mentally capable of doing something like this, although it has been rumored that Biden apparently just hates Nancy Pelosi, hates all the establishment Democrats because they did force him out with blackmail. So obviously you're not going to love that. And I'm sure Hunter and Jill are not too happy about it either. When it comes to the DNC, I'm guessing Biden will probably, I think they said he's going to be speaking on day one or something. Like that's going to be his day, which is just a joke. It'll be funny to see how long he can get through. They're going to all fake cry. Biden was the greatest president ever, but we had to blackmail him to replace him because he sucks so bad. That's what they're all going to be saying. Of course, oh, he was so amazing. But also people have asked me, could they potentially replace Kamala at the DNC? Obama didn't want Kamala. At this point, they're way too far in. They're in too deep with her. They've given her so much money, the funding apparatus, everything that they've spent with all the campaigns. I believe for 100% certainty it will be Kamala and Walz, and that is who Trump and J.D. Vance will be going up against. And, I think at this point, I'd say Trump has like a 99.99999% chance to win. I'd be shocked if Trump lost, especially with her picking Walz. I mean, with someone like Josh Shapiro, I could see Josh Shapiro legitimately being a VP. Just the way, the way he moves, his ability to speak. But this Walz guy is so ridiculous and so clownish, and he's the white guilt. I'm old, I'm white, I hate my race because we're racist, and all of our ancestors were racist, and I hate how the United States was founded. That's who he is. He's a clown. People like that don't get into office at a national level. Yeah, sure. Even when he won in Minnesota, his numbers were worse than what Biden did in 2020. He's not even liked locally, especially after what happened with the riots. So when it comes to who Trump and Vance will be facing, I know Trump is saying this, potentially Dark Brandon coming back. There's just no way it's going to happen. Biden will lay down. He'll give his speech. They'll do their fake crying, and then they'll continue on with the convention. Day 3, I'm sure, will be the VP. That'll be his day, and then day 4, it'll be Kamala. In terms of that. But I did want to talk about that because there is a lot of speculation surrounding will they actually stick with Kamala, the funding apparatus, the amount of money they've spent on her and all the stuff with the ads and everyone reporting how much money she's spending on ads, even on YouTube, people saying they keep getting Kamala ads over and over again. I can't see there's any way outside of some type of medical emergency or something ridiculous that they would have an open convention, although I should note that originally it's been reported Obama did want an open convention. He did want Mark Kelly to lead the ticket, not to be the VP. He wanted Mark Kelly to lead the ticket. And obviously when Biden endorsed Kamala, it seemed like that was a big thing that Obama was not expecting. It had a cascade effect on a lot of other Democrats. They endorsed Kamala as well. It was also rumored that in terms of, spending campaign money, it would be easier if it was just Kamala because, you don't have to do anything. I think they would just have to reimburse the donors, and then the donors would invest into whoever the candidate would be. But it does seem like the Democrat strategy is quite simple. They've capitalized on all this momentum. Now they've got the VP, who I really don't think is going to give them any more momentum, but they've got the VP now, and then they've got the DNC, so they're trying to keep the momentum that they currently have. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, guys, at the end of the day, it comes down to my prediction on election night. We can look at all these polls and say, oh, she's trending, she's doing better. Harris and Walz, it's just not going to happen. We're not going to elect people like that. It's just, I know people say, well, Biden, we elected Biden. Well, yeah, Biden was Obama's VP for 8 years. Biden was in government for 50 years. It's a little bit more understandable that the United States, to me, Biden and Kamala are not even close to comparable in terms of career achievements, in terms of how they got there. At least Biden won in 2020 in the primaries. I think it's completely different. So I'm extremely confident. Let me reassure everyone. Trump will win this election. Calm down. People need to calm down. They don't understand. Remember the polls in 2020, 2016. They were a lot worse for Trump. If there's a poll today that says, oh, Trump's down 3, it's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. I have full confidence that Trump will win this election. Obviously, we can talk about all of the ballots and what they're going to do in terms of that. But remember, Even if you want to say they had their cheating apparatus in 2016, Trump still won in 2016, and his poll numbers look way better than they did in 2016. So even if they cheated in 2016, it wasn't enough. And now his poll numbers are significantly better than in 2016. Although I will say the mail-in narrative is a little bit different. Now it's this huge thing. We do need to be watching the mail-in ballots. I am expecting significantly less mail-in ballots because it's a normal thing for a human to expect, considering we had the pandemic and everything happening in 2020. There was going to be a lot of mail-in ballots. That was the narrative. So there better be less mail-in ballots, significantly less, and we better get a winner decided by 2 or 3 a.m. We cannot do that. We're not doing it again. We will not accept this whole thing where we wait for 4 days and we find Biden votes up our ass and say, oh my God, CNN says Biden's votes are trickling in. Where are the votes coming from? It's 3 days after the election. This is ridiculous. So we need the election to be decided by 3 a.m. Eastern, please. And I think it will be because there's no pandemic. Let's just hope. But when it comes to this, I don't think there's going to be any change. I think it is Walz and Harris in terms of that. How about this? This is basically the Dems counter, or at least try to counter, the Aiden Russ Donald Trump stream. Apparently it reached 2 million views concurrently over a 5-6 minute period. Just amazing for Trump in terms of Gen Z support. It's come out. Trump now leading the people that are like the age range 18 to 34 by 4 points, according to a poll. That's probably not accurate, but it's still a good poll. Now we've got Kai Cenat, who is one of the crazy popular streamers, one of the black streamers. Kamala is begging, and the Secret Service apparently are begging Kai Cenat to do a stream with Harris. This is how ridiculous it's gotten. Kamala, I thought they were just going to do the rappers and stuff and have them come out and perform, but now they're trying to steal Trump's thing where Trump goes on a stream with Aiden Russ. Aiden Russ really wanted it. This is the difference. Aiden Russ is a fan of Trump. He's MAGA. He wanted Trump on. He doesn't want any money for it. And then you look at Kamala, she has to pay people, and she's begging Kai Cenat, like, please, 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 the Secret Service. He says the Secret Service keeps messaging him, like, they probably messaged him like 20 times because they're obsessed with this. They need it, and it is crazy. So it looks like Kai Cenat, good for him. He told them to F off, and he said he's not even political. So, obviously he gets a ton of views as well. Whatever. I think he's on Twitch still. So a lot of those guys end up getting banned off of Twitch and then they go to Kick. I think that's what happened to Aiden Ross. But yeah, so that's good news. Kai Cenat told her to get lost. It's not happening. This is going to be so much fun. You can see just the photo. Yeah, they do look really weird there. I'm not going to lie. I have to be honest. But you can see not an American flag in sight. Well, they hate the country. They hate how it was founded. They think we're all racist. They hate white men. They hate all of our past presidents because they're white and they call it racist. That's why there's no American flags. They hate American flags. I'm not trying to fearmonger people. I'm being honest. How many of these Democrats think the American flag is racist? Why would you vote with these people? They hate our founding fathers. They hate our country. That's not an overdramatic statement. That's just what it is. So why do independent Americans, Trump should win suburban whites by 40 points, and I think he loses them. Like, that is crazy, man. The amount of white guilt and guilt tripping that they do, oh my, it's very sad to see. Tim Walz apology. Oh, speaking of it, we've got Tim Walz apologizing for his white privilege. As VP, Walz will propose that all white males pay a privilege tax. Yeah, like 1% extra on your taxes or something. I'm sure Walz has talked about doing that. Dude's a complete buffoon. How about the new stuff that just came out about Walz? Dude, JD Vance. You know what? I'm really starting to like JD Vance more. The more they hate on JD Vance and try and go against him, it's making me like Vance more. Now I'm galvanized behind Vance. Vance is extremely articulate. He's going to annihilate Walz in a debate. Walz faked his military service. Apparently, he said his military was more prestigious than it actually was. He had a deployment. He flaked on the deployment and then went into politics right after. He had a deployment, I think, in Iraq or something, Iran. He didn't go to it. He left, and then the next person up. There's actually like a big news story of it back in 2018 of one of the soldiers that served there saying, I wasn't supposed to go, but because Walz backed out of the mission when we were going to be deployed, I had to step up and go. So and talk about JD Vance, who is someone that did get deployed. Vance is going to annihilate him. Vance during the debate should be like, You keep talking about me being weird. Well, you want to know something that I find weird? You lying about your military service for political gain. I think that's a little bit weird. Imagine if Vance said that. That's just a knockout punch, considering Vance deployed and this dude was supposed to, and he backed out, and he still uses military service. And Kamala and her campaign are using the idea that, oh, all this military service, all these awards, when people that served with him said no, he backed out of his deployment. So that's big stuff, and then that's why Vance is going to annihilate him in the debate. Also, Vance is just a lot smarter than him, let's be honest. You've also got apparently Democrats checking IDs for people who came into the rally today, but they oppose voter ID. Well, yes, they oppose voter ID because they want illegals to vote. I'm just being honest, that's what it is. Why else would they oppose all these acts that Republicans are trying to pass? They want illegal immigrants to vote. They've admitted it. So, of course, when it comes to their events, they want to keep them safe. They want all the IDs. When it comes to other things like, you remember the vaccine card. Everyone always talks about that in comparison to voter ID. You need a vaccine card. You need all this identification. But when it comes to vote, you don't need an ID. Why? Because, when it comes to undocumented people, we win those and we need them to vote. That's what Democrats think. That is just the reality of the situation. Oh, here it is right here. As soon as the shots were fired in Iraq, he turned and ran the other way and basically retired. So that is Tim Walz. He was going to be out of deployment, and considering the contrast with J.D. Vance actually doing it, that is going to be something that's going to be brought up during the debate, and it is going to be hilarious, I'm sure. Now, I don't know when the debate is going to be, but whenever it is, I would say probably early September between J.D. Vance and Walz. There'll probably be just one debate. That's normally how they do it. I do think Trump and Kamala will debate. I'm guessing Kamala ends up agreeing, or they might do like some type of town hall or something on Fox News. I don't know. If they do debate on Fox News, I do think there'll be another debate possibly on ABC or maybe another network in October, with one debate happening in September, one debate in October. That's how I would expect that. Obama put Tulsi Gabbard on a secret terrorist watch list the very day after she destroyed Kamala in the debate. And let me just say, I like J.D. Vance. It's nothing against him. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard would have been the most badass VP pick. I know people say, well, she was a Democrat, but it's just the unbelievable narrative of Tulsi Gabbard ending Kamala Harris's campaign that had a lot of funding behind it, a lot of donors behind it in 2019 before she even got to Iowa. Tulsi Gabbard ended her campaign. Apparently, Obama put her on a watch list or something the next day, and then Tulsi Gabbard ends up being Trump's VP, and then they install Kamala as the new nominee. And then you've got all the memes and all the stuff. Why wouldn't Kamala debate Tulsi Gabbard, as VP? But, it is what it is. Trump picked who he did. And, it's a very complicated situation. But I did want Tulsi Gabbard to be VP. I think if Trump had Tulsi Gabbard, it would be, 380, 400 electorate. Maybe not that much. The VP doesn't have that big of a sway. But it would just enable a lot more independent people and minority people to vote for Trump because of Tulsi. But listen, again, I like J.D. Vance. I do like him. And I'm very excited for the debate. But what happened here with Tulsi Gabbard potentially being put on a watch list after destroying Kamala Harris in a debate, it is absolutely crazy. So, guys, we do have big stuff. The Kamala Harris campaign, they continue to try and pay. Remember, they're already paying for all these influencers to be at the DNC. That's been reported $20,000, maybe even more for A-listers, they're saying. They're paying them. I mean, this is such a joke. They're also trying to pay Kai Cenat, other top streamers. Now they've been outed, so even if they do one of these streams, we know it's bought and paid for by them, and it's just amazing how they have to pay for everything for people to show up to these events, to get top streamers, to get top people. Nobody is enthusiastic about any of this. All of their influencers are paid for. And then doing a quick update, I do think now Pennsylvania is completely wide open with Josh Shapiro not being picked. I still think it was open if it was Shapiro, but it would be a little bit harder. So I would say right now, this is probably Trump's easiest path. Guys, all Trump really has to do, if you think about it, make sure you hold on to North Carolina. You win PA, 19 electoral votes, and you take both Nevada and Arizona, states that you've been leading this entire time. That's with Trump losing Wisconsin. That's with Trump losing Michigan. That's with Trump even losing Georgia, New Hampshire, Maine at large, Nebraska 2nd District, and still winning the election. With Trump losing almost all of the swing states, that's why Pennsylvania is so important. That would not be my prediction right now. Right now, I would say it'd be, you know what, maybe Michigan would go to Harris right now because of, some circumstances, but it would be something like this. This would be my prediction, I guess, right now. It would be Georgia going to Trump, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. You've got Trump at 297. I mean, again, these are all so close. You could argue Nebraska 2nd for Trump, Maine at large, possibly, maybe Virginia. We need to see polls in Virginia to really understand what the type of impact Harris joining the race is, because we haven't gotten any. But it would be Trump right around 300 electoral votes. You could also say Michigan as well, getting Trump to that 312 number. That could possibly work as well. But really, Pennsylvania, man, if he wins Pennsylvania, it's going to be very hard for the Democrats to win the election. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.